The way the DM goes usually when for someone in a group is, hey, your name, we're in this group, so like, why I know you. Are your clips getting you the results you want? If you ever heard anyone say, document your process, this video will help you out a lot. I'm Dom Jackson of David A Media, and this is the 7 Day Scoop, my weekly show where I document the process of building my agency of David A Media. I'm going to be sharing insights that I found on how to stay productive, tips on marketing for building YouTube channels and other content, things I discovered that help my clients throughout the week, and anything else that comes to mind. So if you are one in the process of trying to document your journey of doing something, figure out how to do it, this show will help. 2, if you are in the process of trying to grow any of your social media accounts, this will help you out as well. You got to figure out how to keep yourself sane and reward yourself for what you get done. With this game of trying to build something, trying to create something, there's always more work to do and always more stuff to be done. Now, what that looks like reward-wise, it could be like, eating some kind of food you like or something simple. Because when you're going through the process of changing how you live your life and how you move and how you operate, it's hard because you don't know what you're doing. 2, it's hard because a lot of people don't understand what you're doing. 3, it's hard because you have to rewire yourself as a person. So things you were getting that got you happy before may not get you happy as much towards the end. So saying that, I mean, in the beginning, I didn't really like doing cold outbound, whether it be through DMs or emails or text. And as I did more of it, after several months, I liked the idea of it more. It felt better hitting people up and contacting them and setting up meetings. Like that process became better because I did it more consistently and I got better at it. But it took a while for me to get to the point where I was like, oh, I enjoy this enough to do this, even though it's a key function of what I had to do. So taking little rewards like eating like a certain sweet treat or watching a show after I did certain things was one of the biggest tips that really helped me out with getting over the hump. And I'm still trying to find out ways to get it more to really get that energy to come out the way it needs to, because the goal for me is always to become the best version of myself character-wise that I can get with the traits that I'm doing. The work works on you when you work on it. Got that from Mosey. Finding that takes time and it is hard, and it's good to go after the hard things. That's like a great goal to shoot for, to become the person that can handle the hardest situations. At the same time, you may not always have the energy to even be that person. So rewarding that person when you are that person will align you more to being that person continuously. Second big insight, the next 5 moves, really just sitting down and being like, what are my next 5 moves? The prioritization and really being okay with it. I sat down on Thursday and be like, hey, what are the next 5 things I'm going to do that I'm okay with? And really thinking about what my next 5 moves are going to be action-wise. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And really blocking out the amount of time it's going to take and being okay with not doing anything else during that time. Like, this is what I'm going to do, and that's okay. And like, that's it. And being definitive and with it. So, obviously things change a lot, but sticking to something and following through on it is one of the biggest things that's really helped me out a lot. And it's I feel like such a thing that's typically said, but when you actually, there's a difference between knowing the concept and actually living it, prioritizing, and then sticking to the plan and then doing that plan the whole time. Next, certain things, you can't beat biology. So you can definitely not sleep or not eat. And, you have to change, you have to figure out how much you can keep on for yourself function-wise. But no matter what you do, you can only not sleep and not eat for so long before it gets taken from you. Your body just makes you crash out or do something to get the sleep or eating. So kind of go back to prioritization. Knowing where to budget it in for what you're trying to get done is super important, because at a certain point, your body just says, oh, well, you didn't do enough of this, so I'm going to make a change. So biology is like a big factor of like how to even fight it. So I don't fight me being sleepy anymore as far as mentally. I don't fight me being hungry. These are basic things you got to take care of. But in a certain mentality, like, I got to get this, I got to get this, I got to get this. Like, there's always going to be stuff you got to get done. and really being like, hey, cool, but I can't beat biology. So, I know this, I have to sleep this many hours to get stuff done, or sleep this many hours broken up. However you want to do it for yourself, that's how I'm realizing more. Like, I'm trying to do the 6 hours of sleep, then like sometimes it's 7, and just seeing like where it ends up. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to keep getting this done, prioritize. If I ended up taking 7 hours today or 7.5, hey, I'm not going to be mad at myself for doing that because I got to get this done. It's the game, You can't beat biology, so that's something like really trying to embody more now and understand as I adjust to the next phase. Another thing that I learned to really realize was that sometimes things are so obvious that you don't even value it. A video editing agency is where I'm focusing on currently. So right now, it's just try to edit as much people as possible's videos to make that like the business that I am right now. There's a site called YouTube Jobs, YT Jobs. I knew about the site, but all the places I was doing outbound, I didn't think to hit up that site first. A site full of people that make YouTube content that want YouTube videos edited. It like should have been the first place on my radar to do outbound. There's people there, there's sites, there's volume, but I didn't do it because it just was too easy. I didn't think about it. I'd rather go in the Facebook groups, which is a great option. I'd rather go cold DM on Instagram, which is a great option. It was a site designed for exactly what I wanted to do anyway, and it didn't come first to mind to go there. Now for the outbound strategy. Now with cold outbound, I have been spending a lot more time in Facebook groups and Instagram. Now I like Facebook groups because Facebook groups, you can find a set community of people that are in there that talk about what you want. So I'm at podcast communities. I'm in YouTube communities. Now, inside the group, though, there are different levels of what people are talking about and what people are doing. Because if you're one of the spam ones, people are just saying every single thing that they want and putting up their links, and no one really cares. No one's really engaged in what the video is about. It's just like we're in a group and people are just spamming. So, it's not really a lot of value in there. So you can still put some valuable content in there, but it's going to take some time because the people aren't really paying attention. They're kind of just in the group to be in the group. Now, there's other Facebook groups where you can't really post stuff as much because the monitors and admins are really paying attention to it. And those are the golden ones because people in there generally read everything. There's a lot of comments. There's a lot of insight. People are really talking the whole time. Those are the ones you want to try to get into. It's just that they are harder to get into because you have to answer some questions, which is fine. A little more exclusivity. A little more exclusivity is good to me. And they are harder to put stuff in because the admins control more things. But as long as you follow the rules, you're good. Now, inside these groups, I like to go in. I like to put up a post. Hey, do something value-based. Because that way, I don't even have anything just like, hey, this is my things I think. These are my best YouTube tips here. These are my favorite editing things here. When I do that, and then people will comment, and I'll DM people that comment on it. Or I'll just go right to the list section of where people are, and I'll just start DM people individually. Boom, boom, boom. 100 of them. Boom, boom, boom. And at that time, you get a certain amount of responses. Like this group that I was in, and I went and DM'd the people. The video was a social media group for people that are trying to learn how to make content better. This is before I was doing the editing piece. It was more on like the marketing side. And I forgot I had that group. So I was in the group and I was like, oh, these people all are making content and they paid to be in this group. And they all are making content to be in this group. And they need someone to make it. So they're either hiring someone else. Why not hire someone in the same group as you because I'm getting the same lessons? First, I DM with, the way the DM goes usually for someone in a group is, hey, hey, your name, we're in this group. So like, why I know you. Are your clips getting you the results you want? And that way it's like, hey, I opened up who I am, why I know you, and then asked you a question. And then people then explain from there, yeah, they're not, they are, blah, blah, blah. And then from there, I just break down, lead the conversation like, hey, well, I liked making clips so much that I decided to do this for service. Would you be interested? Like a very simple conversation. Then every once in a while, depending on how the person responds, I might throw in a little bit about me. Like, yeah, I think this is really great. I'm seeing, or I would say like, hey, if I'm talking to other people, they would say consistency and following the script is one of the best ways to get more people to watch the video. Or, on YouTube, I would do this. There's a lot of, I would bring a different value depending on who the person is. But the set script is usually just like, hey, here, this is the opening. It's me, how I know you, all your clips getting the results you want. Yes or no, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like, boom. Okay, cool. Well, are you making them yourself or is someone else making the clips? I'm making it, someone else making it. Cool. Are you interested in saving time and money and getting a better way to get them done? Yeah. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Each thing leads up into me. And making your own script takes some time. I'm still figuring out and testing things out. But that was one of the first ones I was like, wow, okay, I know how to get this conversation where I need to be. It's cold. I'm still bringing rapport. And hey, this is it. And I got like 3 takers so far just from one group, just from using that script of people inside the group I already had. So, there's a lot of things you have access to. You just may not think about it. And that was great insight for me. Before, a couple months ago, when I was sending DMs cold, I was just sending a spam 7 or 8 line thing. Hey, you interested in getting your videos done? My name's Dom, da-da-da, da-da-da. And I had sent my portfolio link. I sent that through my own personal Instagram, and I sent that through my Day by Day Media Instagram. And very minimum responses. Then I changed the DMs to 1 sentences. Hey, are you editing your own videos? Or, hey, or it's personalized. Hey, this clip on blah, blah, blah is funny. Are you editing your own videos? And the response rate, like 3x, from like 0 to 3 to 4 people responding and having conversations. So that's one of the biggest things that I realized. And I'm sure personalization is always a big factor. But even having a shorter copy in the DM, 1 sentence I found so far, is one of the best ways to start. The next strategy is always go simple. So whatever the 1 line is I can send, are you editing your own videos? Hey, how did this show go for you? How did you do the X? On the texting side, I had a great one that really worked for me. I think I sent it to like 150 people. And I think I got like 132 responses, including people that like I had their number, but I don't know who they were anymore. So this one I said, hey, blank, it's Dom Jackson. Do you still have the same number? And I really like that one because, 1, you get into text on your phone. Okay, what is this text from? Oh, it's this person. Okay, I don't know who this person is, or I know who this person is. Boom. And then ask questions. Do you still have the same number? And it's like, yeah, I do have the same number. Why do you ask? You know what I mean? The intrigue's already built into it, which is great for getting people to respond. So there's a lot of principles that I learned through that one that I think will help out with other future copywriting and other future outbound. Simple enough you can read it in a sentence or 2, while also being able to build intrigue in it as well. You get things confirmed, but not enough that you want to keep looking. So that's like a principle that I have. The principle behind it I got to break down, but that's a great insight of something else that I added to the repertoire. One of the other things that I really learned that I think people would really think is useful is it's crazy that the people that you end up getting in outbound, at least from my experience so far, still end up being somehow connected to you. Like out of all the people, just randomly, your people still find you. Here's a prime example. So I'm doing cold DMs on Instagram for podcasts, talking to podcasts, da-da-da. Here's my spiel, trying the 1 sentence thing. And one of the dudes is from where I used to live. Then I'm looking at his content. Somebody I was with in 8th grade, one of my old homies from 8th grade, is on his show. And I only found this guy as like a random podcast, just looking on the tag sections of other podcasts on Instagram. And then I found him, and then I knew somebody who was on the show, and he's one of the people that responded. So it's just very serendipitous that like people that the worlds you're in already, probably will be the world you're connected to outbound wise. Then inside the Facebook group I was talking about that I got the people from, one of the first people to respond was somebody who also went to Rutgers, like I went to Rutgers. All these people in here, and most of the people inside the group that I was looking at were on the West Coast. So I got to see it was like Vegas, California, Arizona. That's the majority of people. This was the first guy I saw from New Jersey. And it was the first guy I saw from Jersey from Rutgers. It was just like, wow. And he responded. I'm like, that's crazy. So there's a lot of serendipity inside of the world that you're in. You just gotta know how to be in that world. Another big thing was that I put the video out. I got my first meeting with the agency CEO. So back in February, I found out about those agency around where I live that, was doing social media content. Big name down here. Crushing it pretty much very well down here. And I wanted to go meet them and talk to them. And people in my network, between Marcus and some of our friends down here, they were telling me all the spots and all the connecting places, how to connect to people down here. From Marcus and some of our friends down here, they informed us of other people in the area and how to get to these people because they have connections. I came in cold. So I met the founder randomly at a coffee shop, and he knew me. He came to say hi to me because I was black and he was black. So I was like, both here, which is cool, which just shows that like your community can be a benefit for you no matter what. Whatever thing you have for you, ethnicity wise, health wise, sports team wise, you're in a community, and there's certain times where that will hinder you or help you. So everything is basically the same. Everything is neutral. It depends on your strategy and it depends on what people are in your community. So that it was a plus. He's come and said hi. But then my response to him was like, "Oh, I know you. You're from this company. You're part of this agency." He's like, "Oh yeah, da da da." So he was coming to say hi, but I already knew who he was because I already did the work beforehand. So, that's a great principle for me too. Just knowing more about people that I want to get in contact with. So if you by chance meet them randomly, you already know and have an idea how to pitch them. It's a good way to build some rapport with someone to show like, oh, you stand out a little bit, they stand out a little bit. Anyway, that was step one. We had a little meeting together. We talked, kind of gave me some tips on entrepreneurship, how to grow. From there, I went to an event last Thursday that they had from opening up their own studio. And I went there, stood at the event, just had fun, shook hands, da da da. It was the first time me being around most of their people cold. So I just kind of came in, yo, what's up? I'm Dom, da da da, seeing what's up. Just seeing what's up, just saying hi, introducing myself, shaking hands, just politicking, networking, vibing. And it was there that I was like, oh shoot, this is cool. Like, just be myself, saying hi, and seeing what's up. And, met CEO, talked to him, great dude, telling me his story, how to get there, how they started it, all started from ground up. And then we set up our meeting. But, this process took 2 months, 3 months. And there never really was a set thing to get exactly where I was. I just kind of had to set up where I could. So I pitched them. And, we talked about what things look like going forward if we work together. And he gave me a lot of gems on far as what I would look like. Because one of the issues that I had, I didn't realize how much my services were not even tailored to what that would look like for an agency. Like, it's a whole different level of volume, a whole different level of skill, a whole different level of volume is the biggest thing. I got to even have my packages set up right for that type of person. So I have to change everything package-wise if I wanted to work with someone that level, because the volume they would need, the amount of videos they would need per day versus my monthly output, it's just not even the same number, which is fine. I just have to adjust that accordingly. One of the best insights of this whole thing and of that whole thing is that you can really, I've been there one time now, and if you would have asked me about that would have happened, I would have been so nervous. I would have been so afraid. Maybe not afraid, nervous, but I wouldn't think it was as easy as it was. And it wasn't that, it took time, but the interaction wasn't as scary as it was. And now I know that I can talk to the CEO of an agency. I have that ability. It doesn't matter what level they are. I've done it one time. Now the box is checked in my head. And, my 101,000 principle, if you do something 1,000 times, don't count, unless I've done it 1,000 times, I don't count it as a loss. So I met one CEO. We had a meeting. We figured out the next steps. But now it's like, cool, I haven't met with 1,000 CEOs yet. I haven't met with 1,000 CEOs of agencies. I haven't pitched 1,000 CEOs yet. So, it's just square one, and I got box one checked off, so I'm super excited about that. I have also decided, for anybody who really liked the daily vlogs, day-by-day series, I'm going to go to day-by-day 107. So I'm going to keep going it to 107 because I just really like the idea of the daily repetition. So 7 Day Scoops will drop on Monday, live stream on Monday for the vlog. and then daily vlog until episode 107 as we figure it out together, because you're just getting a lot of great insight from my life, like that full cycle of how the agency thing happened, great documentation of the process. So anybody out there trying to figure out what to do, I'm doing what I can and I'm putting out what best information that I can. So drop a comment below if some things you would want to see of the vlog, if I can, document this process and make it better for you. But as always, take it one step at a time. You'll get there day by day.